The conversation around Caitlin Clark just took another turn, and this time it's not only fans debating online. Sports media personality Cari Champion recently shared strong opinions about Clark's on-court behavior, and now the basketball world is once again split into different camps. Some people believe the criticism is completely fair. Others think Clark is being held to a different standard than other athletes. And maybe the biggest question of all is this: are people reacting to what Caitlin Clark actually does on the court, or to what she represents in today's WNBA conversation? That's what we're breaking down today. Because this story is bigger than one comment, one game, or one viral clip. It touches on competition, media attention, fan culture, and the pressure that comes with becoming the most talked about player in women's basketball. Over the past year, Caitlin Clark has become one of the biggest names in sports. From record-breaking college performances to sold-out arenas in the WNBA, her arrival has brought massive attention to the league. According to league reports and recent discussions surrounding television ratings and attendance, the WNBA has seen major growth during this era of increased attention around players like Clark, Angel Reese, and other young stars entering the league together. But with popularity comes scrutiny. Reports suggest that Cari Champion criticized Clark's visible reactions during games, particularly moments where Clark appeared frustrated with referees, teammates, or physical play on the court. Champion's comments quickly spread online, sparking debate across sports media and fan communities. Now, to be clear, this wasn't about accusing Clark of breaking rules or doing something extreme. The criticism focused more on body language, emotional reactions, and the perception of how she handles intense moments during games. And honestly, this is where things get complicated. Because competitive athletes showing emotion is nothing new. Basketball history is filled with stars arguing calls, reacting emotionally, or expressing frustration during high-pressure situations. Fans have seen it from legends in both the NBA and WNBA for decades. The real debate here is whether Clark's behavior is being analyzed more heavily because of her visibility and influence. That's the key issue. Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA carrying expectations that very few rookies have ever faced. Every possession, every reaction, and every post-game quote gets dissected online within minutes. Fans clip moments from broadcasts, social media accounts debate them non-stop, and sports shows turn individual reactions into full discussions. So when Cari Champion criticized Clark, many viewers saw it as part of a larger pattern of media scrutiny. But others argue that comes with the territory of being a superstar. And that perspective matters too. If a player becomes the face of league conversations, then analysts and commentators are naturally going to evaluate everything, including attitude, leadership, emotional control, and interactions during games. According to many sports commentators, that level of analysis is simply part of elite professional sports. Still, the fan reaction shows just how divided people are. Some fans agreed with Champion completely. They argued that Clark sometimes shows visible frustration too often during games, and that emotional reactions can negatively affect teammates or overall team chemistry. According to those fans, leadership at the professional level requires controlling emotions even during difficult stretches. Others pushed back strongly. Many Clark supporters believe the criticism ignores context. They point out that Clark has faced extremely physical defense since entering the league. Reports and game footage throughout the season have shown how aggressively opponents defend her, often treating her as the primary focus of defensive game plans. Supporters argue that emotional reactions are understandable considering the pressure and attention she deals with every night. And then, there's another layer to this conversation that keeps resurfacing online. Some fans believe the media discusses Clark differently than other players. That debate has become impossible to avoid. According to recent discussions across sports media and fan communities, there's growing disagreement about whether Clark receives unfair criticism compared to veteran stars or other high-profile athletes. Some viewers feel her mistakes become headline stories faster than similar moments involving others. Meanwhile, critics argue that Clark also receives more positive coverage and attention than most players in the league, so increased criticism naturally comes with increased visibility. Both sides make points that many viewers find understandable. And honestly, that tension may not disappear anytime soon. One thing that stands out in this situation is how quickly basketball discussions now become cultural debates. A simple basketball moment no longer stays inside the game itself. Instead, conversations expand into topics like media bias, athlete treatment, fan loyalty, league marketing, and even generational differences between players and audiences. That's why comments from personalities like Cari Champion generate such strong reactions. People aren't only responding to basketball analysis anymore. They're responding to what they believe those comments represent. At the same time, it's important to separate confirmed facts from interpretation. The confirmed reality is this: Caitlin Clark has shown visible frustration during some games. That's on camera. Analysts like Cari Champion have publicly criticized aspects of that behavior. Fans online are heavily debating those opinions. Everything beyond that becomes interpretation. Some interpret Clark's reactions as competitive fire. Others interpret them as poor composure. Some see unfair targeting from media voices. Others see fair accountability for a superstar athlete. And that's exactly why this story continues gaining traction. There's also a basketball side to this discussion that sometimes gets overlooked. Young guards entering professional basketball often experience emotional adjustments early in their careers. The speed, physicality, and pressure of the WNBA are significantly different from college basketball. Many analysts have noted that rookie stars historically go through periods of visible frustration while adapting to professional officiating, defensive schemes, and expectations. That context matters. Clark entered the league after an exhausting college run where she carried enormous offensive responsibility. Now she's facing veteran defenders every single night, while also carrying unprecedented media attention. According to many former players and commentators, that combination creates enormous mental pressure for any athlete, especially a rookie. But there's another side here too. Great players eventually learn how to channel those emotions effectively. That's part of professional growth. Some fans believe criticism from media personalities could actually help Clark develop stronger composure over time. Others think the constant spotlight creates unrealistic expectations for a young player still adjusting to the league. And honestly, both ideas can be true at the same time. One fascinating part of this situation is how it reflects the current state of the WNBA itself. The league is experiencing a massive visibility boom. More viewers are watching games. More debates are happening on television and social media. More personalities are giving opinions. And with that growth comes stronger criticism, louder fan reactions, and non-stop headlines surrounding star players. In many ways, this controversy is evidence of how much attention the league now commands. Years ago, a disagreement over a player's body language might not have become a national discussion. Now it dominates sports conversations for days. That shows how invested audiences have become in these athletes and stories. It also highlights how emotionally connected fans are to players like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Supporters often feel protective of athletes they admire, especially when they believe criticism becomes excessive or unfair. On the other hand, critics argue that no player should be shielded from analysis simply because they are popular. That balance is difficult. And the media plays a huge role in shaping how these conversations unfold. Some commentators focus heavily on controversy because controversy drives engagement. Others genuinely believe they're offering fair basketball analysis. Sometimes those two things overlap. Sometimes they don't. For viewers, the challenge is separating emotional reactions from objective evaluation. So where does this leave Caitlin Clark? Probably in the same position many superstar athletes eventually find themselves in, under constant observation. Every gesture gets analyzed. Every reaction becomes a debate. Every difficult moment turns into content for television panels and social media clips. That level of scrutiny can be exhausting, but it's also part of modern sports fame. The real question moving forward is how Clark responds over time. Does she adjust emotionally during games? Does the criticism motivate her? Does the media conversation calm down eventually? Or does the spotlight continue growing even brighter as her career develops? Right now, there are no simple answers. What we do know is this: Caitlin Clark remains one of the most influential young athletes in basketball, and conversations surrounding her are shaping larger discussions about the WNBA itself. Whether fans agree with Cari Champion or completely reject her comments, the reaction proves how deeply invested people have become in this new era of women's basketball. And maybe that's the biggest takeaway of all. This league is no longer being discussed quietly. Every game matters. Every rivalry matters. Every opinion creates headlines. That intensity brings pressure, but it also brings attention and growth. So now the question shifts to you. When you watch Caitlin Clark play, do you see normal competitive emotion from a young superstar adjusting to professional basketball? Or do you think critics like Cari Champion raise fair concerns about leadership and composure on the court? Because depending on who you ask, the answer says just as much about modern sports culture as it does about Caitlin Clark herself.